there is some movement, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words. There's some movement. There's been a response from there's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas, but it seems to be a little over the top. We're not sure where it is. There's a continuing negotiation right now.
There you go.
There is some movement.
Your president, Joe Biden, he's not looking so good. You know, the dementia thing seems to be a problem. So I'll show you some more of that. I'll show you some more of that on the show. How's everybody doing? Wednesday, hump day. The big Tucker Carlson interview is coming out right after this show is over, pretty much. I would play it on Rockfin or something, but you can watch it on the platform of your choice. Or if people want to pay me to play it, then maybe I will at the end. We'll go over to Rockfin. Can't play it on YouTube, I'm pretty sure. And apparently it's 2 hours long, so we'd be sitting through a long thing and I wouldn't be saying anything, but it is coming out today. The EU is threatening sanctions against Tucker. Everybody's freaking out. I have the media freaking out about it. I believe I have Elon Musk saying something funny about it. I believe. Where's my media freak out? I'll find it. I have a lot of clips open. I have a lot of tabs open, that is. I have a new ad from Donald Trump. I have more of the immigration crisis. I have some stuff on RFK Jr. today. So we want to talk, but we don't want to forget that RFK Jr. is in the race. It seems like the race is down to Biden and Trump. Trump has suggested that they debate immediately, which I'm not surprised at. So Donald Trump has suggested they debate. Trump, Biden, debate Bongino. Let's see. I have that clip. President Trump has challenged Biden to a debate on the Dan Bongino show. I'll play that now. Why not? Let's see. I can share this instead. So he has challenged him to a debate. I would too. He doesn't have his faculties about him. It's weird that we thought he was compromised or, mentally compromised last time he ran. But this time, yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Orwell. Hey, Raging Against the Machine. Hey, Little Round Box. Hey, Edgar. Hey, Censored Mom. What's up? How's everybody doing? You guys doing good? You enjoying the show? We're trying to bring it to you mostly daily, except for days when we have to do other stuff. So let me show you this. This is where Trump challenged him to a debate on the Dan Bongino show. Here, right here.
I think it's just incumbency. You're an incumbent.
Hey, Al Shizzle.
There just seems to be a loyalty at both parties. And maybe, sometimes you should be that, but when a guy can't answer a question, and when he doesn't do the Super Bowl deal, which would be a great opportunity, actually, this would be a good time. You don't always have to do them, but this would be a good time not to stay right in somebody's face, especially when you have those kind of numbers. But he can't do it because he can't talk. He can't do anything. He's ruining our country. And I don't think he's going to run. I don't know if it's donors or otherwise. It might be his family. It might be something. I don't think he's going to run. But I'd like to call for immediately debates. I'd like to debate him now because we should debate. We should debate for the good of the country. So I will officially on your show call.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
I also said,
we're breaking news, Mr. President. Donald J. Trump calls for debates against Joe Biden. That's great.
So we can
breaking
talk
some
about
news
these
here.
problems, Dan, and get him to change his ways. But I am officially doing that. I also put out, you probably noticed, that I'll take his spot at the Super Bowl if they want. We'll get very good ratings.
We love it. Mr. President, I got to go. I know you got to go. You're a great guy. You've always been generous with your time. I want you to know me and my family personally appreciate you. Best of luck moving forward. And thanks for giving your...
There you go. There's the exclusive news on the Dan Bongino show. So he's saying, challenge him to a debate immediately. Let me play my intro. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes, real news every day. Real news, no, not every day. Most weekdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. There's a guy that climbed the Sphere in Las Vegas who's a pro-lifer. There's a guy that climbed to the top of the Sphere in Las Vegas. You want to see that? That was kind of breaking news as we were going live. I'll show you that. Let me show you this guy. Let's see the video.
Hey guys, I'm here on top of the Sphere. I guess they're going to make me go through the top, but I just wanted to say that we are doing this today to raise money for a mother named Isabel. She is homeless and pregnant and needs help, guys. So go over to letthemlive.org or the link in my bio to go support this woman. Big thanks. Praise be to God. I will talk to y'all later.
There he is, climbing the Sphere.
Screen that puts constant displays of we're getting escorted off the property.
He made it all the way to the top.
And Mason is.
Here you can see the lights on the Sphere. I guess he climbs tall buildings to raise awareness and money for
Hey guys, I'm here.
pro-life causes, apparently. So, hey, congratulations. He climbed to the top of the Sphere. Good job. Crazy, right? Bravo. So anyway, that guy climbed to the top of the Sphere to raise money for a homeless person, which is good. Here's, I want to show you, I'll show you more. This is Dean Phillips, the guy that's running against Joe Biden. He highlighted this clip. He says, I'm attacked for being honest and saying the quiet part out loud, the part DC insiders only do in private. I admire our president. I voted for him and campaigned for him. He has visited my home and been gracious to my family and our country. But shame on all of you pretending everything is okay. You are leading us and him into a disaster, and you damn well know it. Yep. I got to make a bet. You know what? I am going to make a bet today or soon that Biden will not win. I don't know if it's going to be Trump for sure, almost for sure, but you can make a bet that Biden won't win. He might not run. What do you guys think? Should I run another poll? Here, let me play you this clip.
Right after I was elected.
Hold on one sec. Here he is.
Right after I was elected, I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders. And it was in the south of England. And I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand. Germany, from France, looked at me and said, you know, why, how long are you back for? Right after I was elected, I went to
That's the clip of him mentioning dead French President Francois Mitterrand, who was president when I lived in France, actually. So, yeah, everybody's calling him out. I think that's the big story, is Biden's mental health. So, no surprise that Trump is challenging him to a debate right now, because it seems like it would be an easy debate for almost anybody to win who has some control of their mental faculties. So what do you guys think in the chat? You guys think he's going to make it to the election? He surprised us the last time, but the last time he wasn't doing nearly this bad. Now, if you see clips of him from even a couple months ago, he's a lot better. I mean, he's declining rapidly, and it's elder abuse, basically. So anyway, that's our president, Joe Biden, our current president who's running against Donald Trump. Yeah, the polls still show him, or I'm sorry, the betting odds on PredictIt are still saying that he's the favorite believe it or not. So you can buy no at 53 cents and win $1. So it's almost 1-to-1 odds that he won't be president. Yeah, I would take that bet, I think. And in fact, I think I will. I think I will take that bet and say that he's not going to be president. But we'll see. Do you guys think he'll actually drop out before the Democratic convention? Because I think that's what he'd have to do. Hey, Frying Pants, you became a member? Thanks for that. Appreciate it. I don't even offer anything special for YouTube members. Thank you, Frying Pants. I appreciate you. That's really helpful. If anybody wants to support the show during the stream, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, or you can drop a super chat, or you can become a member. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for that. So appreciate you, Frying Pants. So anyway, that's the bet. Okay, now the Tucker Carlson interview. Tucker Carlson could face sanctions over the Putin interview. This says Tucker Carlson's interview with Vladimir Putin could see the conservative pundit targeted by the European Union lawmakers. Current and former members of the European Parliament have told Newsweek, even though Putin has been interviewed before, and the interview's coming out shortly. We're in a countdown for it right now. Carlson's work in Russia could see the former Fox News host in hot water with the EU. Guy Verhofstadt, a former Belgian prime minister and current member of the European Parliament, told Newsweek. That lawmaker has called the EU to explore imposing a travel ban on Tucker Carlson and described him as a mouthpiece of former President Donald Trump and Putin. But do I have the video of the meltdown? Let me see if I have it. There was a total meltdown. It's too much. I have too many tabs open. Maybe I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Let me run a search for it real quick so you guys can see it. Meltdown Tucker Putin. We'll try that. Here. Yes. Here on CNN. Okay, I got it. This is CNN freaking out about it. Here you go.
Interview the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin.
Tucker Carlson is lying from the streets of Russia, no less.
Not a single Western journalist has bothered to interview the president of the other country involved in this conflict, Vladimir Putin.
That's a lie. Serious news outlets, including CNN, have requested Putin to interview over and over again.
Most Americans have no idea why Putin invaded Ukraine or what his goals are now. They've never heard his voice.
Another lie. Serious news outlets, including CNN, have covered and, of course, reported on Putin's words since this war began, including one of his baseless justifications for the invasion of Ukraine, which he initially claimed was to stop the Nazis.
First, because it's our job. We're in journalism.
Tucker Carlson is not a journalist, not even close. And his former employer in a court case actually agreed. Quote, the general tenor of the show should then inform a viewer that Carlson is not stating actual facts about the topics he discusses and is instead engaging in exaggeration and non-literal commentary.
2 years into a war that's reshaping the entire world, most Americans are not informed. They have no real idea what's happening in this region, here in Russia or 600 miles away in Ukraine.
For 2 years, real journalists have risked their lives to report from the ground each and every day in Russia and in Ukraine, including 2 U.S. journalists who are right now baselessly being detained by.
There you go. So that's CNN, who claims they're real news, and Tucker Carlson is not actually a journalist. So this is what, here's a post that says why they're so afraid of Vladimir Putin being interviewed, and it's coming out imminently. Here's his previous interview.
Question. Did you order Alexei Navalny's assassination?
Of course not. We don't have this kind of habit of assassinating anybody. That's one. Number two is, I want to ask you, did you order the assassination of the woman who walked into the Congress and who was shot and killed by a policeman? Do you know that 450 individuals were arrested after entering the Congress, and they didn't go there to steal a laptop? They came with political demands. 450 people have been detained.
You're talking about the capital.
They're looking at jail time between 15 and 25 years. And they came to the Congress with political demands. Isn't that persecution for political opinions?
So that's an example of him being interviewed before by NBC News. So it's true that he didn't give out interviews to these other news outlets. He decided to give it to Tucker Carlson because he likes Tucker Carlson. But that's the kind of thing he's liable to be saying on Tucker's show. So we're going to see it. We're all going to see it shortly. So here's a post from Elon Musk, who's been pretty active on Twitter lately. Glenn Greenwald asked, who are the American journalists who conducted even minimally adversarial interviews with Zelensky? Elon Musk said, to be fair, it's hard for them to talk while giving a BJ at the same time. He didn't even say BJ. He said the actual word. So, and this person says he prefers cocaine. So that's the story. Elon Musk tweeted back that joke. Hard to talk while giving a BJ. That's true. Yep. Ben Kruppa says, does the interview come out tomorrow? It comes out today at 6 p.m. Eastern time in 45 minutes. Apparently, I signed up for email updates, so I'm supposed to get an update on it. Let me show you this. Somebody gave me a coffee yesterday and asked about the Apple Vision Pro. Here's a few dudes out wearing the Apple Vision Pro. And this is the future, apparently. So once they get it down to glasses size and weight, then this is the future for everybody. It's so over, says this commentator. Two guys wearing their Apple Vision Pros, messing around with stuff. Oh my God. I don't even know what they're doing. It looks real. That looks like a real clip. Two guys going around. Dan says that will never catch on. Yeah, we'll see. It won't catch on in its current form, I don't think, because you have to wear a battery pack and you have to wear the big goggles and everybody's looking at you funny. But will it catch on? I don't know. It's interesting. It's very Minority Report, isn't it? So you get apps in front of you and stuff. All right, let me see. Here's a new ad for Donald Trump. Let me show you that. This is Trump's newest campaign ad, apparently.
6 men have been charging that brutal attack caught on camera.
A shocking act of violence. 2 NYPD officers beaten in Times Square. All of those arrested were released without bail.
Why did these 4 individuals be released on their own recognizance?
The Biden administration is fighting to release as many migrants as quickly as possible.
I'll reverse Trump's detrimental asylum policies.
There's no need for us.
Biden administration reversed Trump's policy on remain in Mexico.
Joe Biden to stop construction of the border wall.
It's a new day on the southern border. Here we go. The policy that made it easy to kick out migrants is gone.
He inherited the lowest rate of illegal immigration, and he immediately reinstated catch and release. And so when they apprehend people, they let them go.
I'll reverse Trump's detrimental asylum policies.
There you go.
6 men have been.
Joe Biden is giving you the finger, it says. Hey, Renee Gannock, thanks for the $5 super chat. It says, hey, Nathan, I know YouTube robs creators. What's your most preferred method of sport? Most preferred? Most preferred? It's hard to say because they're all really good. YouTube takes 30% though, apparently. So I think so. YouTube is probably the worst, but I still really appreciate it. And it shows up for everybody else. It encourages them to donate. So it's okay if people donate and become members on YouTube. But Cash App is actually the most, there's no fee of any kind on Cash App. And that's at $sign LTV411. But buymeacoffee.com takes very little also. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil takes very little. But Cash App is the best for everybody because they don't charge you a fee. They don't charge me a fee. If you send $5 by Cash App, I get $5. So, but buymeacoffee.com also takes a very low processing fee. So you can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Thanks for asking. Buying t-shirts is great too, though. So that's why I say it's hard to answer. Buying a t-shirt is great because that helps get rid of our inventory, which we have in stock right now. So we have t-shirts in stock at truthclothing.io, including the one, I think the one I'm wearing underneath all of this is actually sold out. But yeah, buy truthclothing.io. Go check out our t-shirts too. So there's his ad. Here's some people coming in. Let's see. I have video of people coming in San Diego using boats. I don't know if you want to see that. This is the video. Let's see. This is video of people arriving in San Diego on boat. And then they run into the neighborhood. So yeah, that's people, illegal immigrants coming in on boats in San Diego. So that's how they get around the border wall.
I wasn't sure what was going on.
So it's actually people running. They come out of the boats and they start running across the street. Yes, Mimsy says become a member at buymeacoffee.com. Yeah. Become a member. That's good. That's ongoing support. That's really helpful. See, look, there's people running out of their boats.
They're illegal aliens.
Just running. And then apparently they get picked up in nice cars.
Dude, they got kids with them too.
So there they are running across the street. And then here they are being picked up in cars.
Now they're all being picked up by cars.
Yep. Yep. People are waiting for them on the other side. Getting picked up in Jeeps, it looks like. Jeep Grand Cherokee style vehicles. So that's a real thing. Here they are being followed. So there they are jumping in the back. Wow, how do they fit so many? Don't even know how they all fit in there. It's like a clown car. That guy can't fit. So yeah, that's going on in San Diego apparently. So we heard about Chinese coming across. Here's migrants complaining about their food. Let me close these tabs. Okay. Close. Oh, there, I have that one. I showed you the Vision Pro. I showed you the ad. Showed you those. Here's migrants complaining about food in Denver. Let's see if it's in English. They're put up in a hotel for free, migrants, complaining about the bad food. So here, check it out. It's in Spanish.
Mala, ahí no dan la comida mala, piche, la comida no sirve. No botan las comidas que nos regalan, nos las botan para la basura, las leches, los cereales de los niños, todo eso nos los botan.
You guys throw them in the garbage, lo botan.
Sí, todo, nos botan todo.
Si la comida es tan mala, ¿por qué no salga del hotel?
Nosotros nos vamos a salir del hotel, pero el deber ser no es tratarnos como animales, porque somos seres humanos. No somos animales. Nos tratan muy mal ahí, nos tratan muy mal.
¿Por qué piensa que lo botan a la comida cuando lo traigan para adentro?
Quizás mayormente, pues, también es algo de culpa de algunas personas porque dejan que la comida se pudra también y no la consumen y salen animales en habitaciones y eso.
¿Tienen el derecho para votar? Si tienen el privilegio para votar, ¿para quién se va a votar?
Joe Biden.
Yo creo que la mayoría Biden.
Él es el que nos está ayudando por
He's the
Biden.
one helping us.
Y si
Biden.
podría votar, ¿quién votaría?
Por supuesto que por Biden. Por supuesto que por Biden.
There you go. So there's the scheme right there. You bring those illegal immigrants in, then you give them the rights to vote. Apparently. So anyway, the way I led this show, okay, the title of the show is about Nikki Haley, and she ran in an there was a primary that didn't even matter in Nevada because the caucus is what's going to count. So Donald Trump wasn't even on the ballot. Well, Nikki Haley lost to nobody. There's the results of the vote. Nikki Haley got 30% of the vote, but Trump wasn't even on the ticket because he's going to be in the caucus, which I think is today. And she lost 63% to 30%, more than 2-1. People voted for none of these candidates when given the choice. So I'll play the guy from MSNBC talking about it.
Haley, without Trump's name even on the ballot, still loses to the none option by better than 2-1. So that is a tough reality for her. Trump isn't even on the ballot, and she loses. And it's a closed primary, so it really reinforces what we've been seeing, that when you're just talking about Republican voters, she's really getting clobbered with Republican voters. It's independents and Democrats that keep her in it. Haley.
Sorry, I'm talking to a muted microphone. I muted the microphone to sneeze. She lost to nobody. She lost to nobody, and Trump is ahead by so much in like South Carolina, where she's from. He's ahead. Where is it? South Carolina presidential primary. He's ahead by 37 points, 68 to 31 in her state where she was governor. She's losing by 37 points, but nationally she's losing. Here's a poll, 74 to 17. 74 to 17 nationally. Here's another poll from Economist YouGov, 81 to 13. She's losing these primary polls. So it's not looking good. Trump versus Biden. Trump is ahead the general election by 1.7 points on average right now. So, but as far as the presidential nomination, he's ahead by 56 points on average. So it's not even close. And so she should drop out of the race. I mean, in addition to her supporting the border bill, which was the giveaway for Ukraine and Israel, but she's not a Republican, basically. And that's how badly she lost. She lost 63% to 30% without Trump even being on the ticket. So she's going to lose really bad. Well, actually, I think Trump is going to get all the delegates in Nevada. So that's the story about the Nikki Haley thing. I have let me show you this, how stupid people are. Here's a simple math question asked to some people on the street in Texas. I'll show you this. This is where we're at, okay?
What is 15 times 4?
15 times 4.
Gosh. 28, 32, 23?
23.
48. It's 48. I'll say 48.
I'll say 48.
Why did I say 48? What is 15 times 4?
There you go. That's your future, everybody. 15 times 4, do you guys know what it is? It's pretty easy. You multiply it times 2 and then times 2 again. That makes it easy, right? 60. And in addition to being able to count time, you need to be able to count in 15s. Not a single student can do math at grade level in 53 Illinois schools, regardless of how much it costs per student. So this is 53 schools in Illinois where people can't do math at grade level. So it's looking pretty bleak. The future is looking pretty bleak. Okay, let me give you some stuff about Bobby Kennedy. Oh, I have this clip of Obama. Bitcoin's doing well today. Bitcoin's up a couple percent. Let's take a look. Share this tab. Bitcoin's up to 44.3 now. So it's up. This is the daily. This is today's chart. So it's up 44,310. It's up a bunch. So if you ever need help with cryptocurrency, if you want to know how to store it, keep it safe, buy it, sell it, let me know. You can always text me or send me a message via Twitter. Text me at 650-GAY-TAXI, 650-429-8294. Let me know. I can help you out with cryptocurrency. But there it is. Bitcoin's looking good. ETH is looking even better. Solana's pumping today. So we're here where apparently it's good to buy before Chinese New Year, which is what we're running into now. So I have Obama talking about Bitcoin. Here, let me play that. I'll play this.
The question we now have to ask is if technologically it is possible to make an impenetrable device or system where the encryption is so strong that there's no key, there's no door at all. What mechanisms do we have available to even do simple things like tax enforcement? Because if in fact you can't crack that at all, government can't get in, then everybody's walking around with a Swiss bank account in their pocket.
That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. Ritos asked, do I know how to set up a wallet not in an exchange? Yes. Yeah, I have multiple wallets not in exchanges. There's Coinbase wallet, Exodus wallet, Trust wallet, Phantom wallet is really good. So there are lots of different wallets out there. So yeah, if you are interested and you wanted to pay me for consulting, I can help you with that. I've done that in the past before. So just let me know. It's something that's another great way to support the show if you need help. Okay, so I have some stuff. Yeah. How about from RFK Jr.? And let me check my coffees. We're halfway through the show. Let's see if I got any. Yes, look at that. Here we go. Here we go. LFG. Geralt bought 5 coffees. All right. Yeah, my goal is to make $30 a show if I can. Start out. Thanks, Geralt. Says, hey, Nathan, been watching since the beginning. Keep up the great work and enjoy yourself some of that sweet gas station coffee. I did today. Thank you. And now I'm having iced tea. So thank you very much, Geralt. 5 coffees. And we brought Sumi in the room. She freaks out when we ring the bell. Thanks for that. I appreciate you. If anybody else wants to support the show and have me read your comment on the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Okay, I've already said that enough. Listen to this. This is criticism of Trump from Bobby Kennedy Jr., okay, who's the third candidate in the race. Okay, here we go.
You know, everybody says they're going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C., and I think they mean it. You know, these presidential candidates, I think President Trump meant it. But then, you know, they get into office and they're confronted by these agencies. Each one has their own problems. Each one is, you know, they're all corrupt. They're all captured. But each one of them has different solutions. And, you know, President Trump said that he was going to drain the swamp. But then he brought John Bolton in to run the NSA. It was like the template for swamp creatures. And he brought Mike Pompeo, who was you know, in to run the State Department, who is the most bellicose and belligerent foreign policy, militarized foreign policy of any individual in our country. He brought Scott Gottlieb, a business partner to Pfizer, in to run FDA, and Gottlieb did an $88 billion favor for his company. And then he left FDA back to the board of directors to collect his payoff. And if you look at every one of the agencies, the same thing happened. There were more lobbyists in government than at any time in American history, running the agencies that are supposed to regulate their industries. And it wasn't about draining the swamp. And as I believed President Trump wanted to do that, but I don't think he was able to. I don't think he was able to stand up to his bureaucracy. And he said great things. He said, I don't want to do lockdowns. They make no sense. And then a week later, he ordered them. Ordered, a 2-week lockdown that ended up in almost 2 years. And he said that hydroxychloroquine worked, and then he backed down, so he was able to be rolled by his bureaucracy. And I believe that he had his chance, and that President Biden had his chance. And the big issues that are confronting our nation, which is the systematic destruction of the working poor, of the American middle class, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And we need a big change in this country. And the media and the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, neither of them are saying that they are offering a change. They're all saying, you better vote for my candidate because the other guy is scary and he's going to destroy the republic. Don't you think that Americans deserve something better than the lesser of two evils? Don't you think that you deserve a president who's going to inspire you, who's going to listen to you, who's going to understand what your problems are, and is going to work every fiber of his being to solve them? So I'm going to finish. My poll numbers are great. I have higher favorability ratings now, 52%, compared to I'm 10 or 20 points ahead of President Biden and President Trump. I'm beating President Biden, President Trump among young Americans and among people under 45 in the battleground states, among all Americans under 35 across the country. And I'm at between 20 and 24 points nationally, which means I'm only a few points away from winning the election. The winner of this election is probably going to have 40 points. Now, I can fix this country. All of these agencies that intimidate normal politicians, I've sued every one of them. And I've sued, and I've sued. I'm going to close, but I've sued NIH, CDC, FDA, EPA more than any other. I just sued FCC and won the suit in the Federal Court of Appeals. I've sued USDA and DOT, all of these agencies, and when you litigate against them, you get a PhD in corporate capture and how to unravel it. And I understand in many cases who the individuals are who need to be moved and the perverse incentives that put corporate capture on steroids. And I am going to end it. And I'm going to focus on the health, on the economy, on the economics affecting middle-class Americans, on rebuilding the American middle class. And I want you to hold me accountable. If I have not significantly lessened the chronic disease epidemic in children within 3 years of me going to office, I don't want you to vote for me the next time.
There you go. That's RFK Jr. Someone says play the rattlesnake video. Okay. RFK rattlesnake. There's video of him allegedly catching a rattlesnake with his bare hands. So I'll show you the video, but I have to debunk it at the same time. So somebody is saying it's awesome that he catches this rattlesnake with his bare hands. Okay, let's see. I'll click on and then let's see if they show the video the correct way. Let me see. I'll show you the video though, and then I'll just tell you what it is. Hold on, here it is. This is the video. There's the rattlesnake. Oops, hold on. Did you see it okay? Hold on, I'll show you again. But the video is actually it was reversed. So this is what really happened. Is he was holding the rattlesnake and then he put it down. So there, see, he's putting it down, and then he made some moves, like he was trying to catch it, but it was actually in reverse. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. I'll show you the video the correct way. Hold on. RFK rattlesnake reverse is what I'll say. It's raining again here. I can hear it. It's been raining a lot here in California. RFK rattlesnake reversed. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. I have to do I have to show it to you the correct way? Another RFK Jr. lie. Yeah, here it is. This is the correct way. There. Then he put it down. There. So that's the actual video. So debunction junction. Incorrect. Incorrect that he actually caught the rattlesnake. Shouting at clouds, you got rain in Texas, so that's good. Dan, you think he should be deported now? Yeah, maybe. I have him answering questions about Israel. I have him saying he'll shut down the border here.
Now, how confident would you be in
where
the
it's raining
presidency to be able to get legislation across? Right now, Congress is in gridlock.
I don't need legislation. If President Biden wanted to stop this, he could stop it overnight. He could complete this fence. I'm not going to need legislation. I'm going to do this by executive order, and I'm going to do it on day one.
Yep. So he's saying he'll shut down the border too. That's helpful because that seems to be the biggest issue this year. Here he is. Oh, no. Oh, that's too long a clip. This is the part. Yeah, I think this is the part people are talking about where he's asked about Israel. Oops. Let's see. Share this tab. Let's see if this is the part.
And they'll use that to rearm. They're going to increase their prestige around the world because, the world admires them for that October 7th attack. And if you ask me what I would have done as president, it's not what would have happened now. What I would have done is I would have, first of all, I'd end the Ukraine war so that we can talk directly to Putin. I bring Xi in, I bring Putin in, I bring the Sisi in from Egypt, I bring Erdogan in from Turkey. And I'd say this war is not in any of our interests. The Chinese and the Russians don't want to, they don't want fundamentalist Islam conquering the Mideast and controlling the oil fields. They don't want that ultimately. We have a community of interest. If the Security Council the day after October 7th, on October 8th, had condemned Hamas and had demanded the prosecution of their leadership for war crimes.
All right. I was going to play you something else from that clip. Okay. Let me play you. Okay. That's everything. That's everything on RFK Jr. today. So he still is a choice. He's doing he's polling between 8 and 15%, 16% in Wisconsin, apparently. So he is getting some support. RFK Jr. is getting some support now that it's between the two old guys. People are going to think hard about whether they might want to support RFK Jr. So he is kind of, Cyrus says he's a huge Zionist. He is kind of. No, that's Dave Smith, not Burmis. Dave Smith. All right, let me show you some trans news. I think I'll show you some trans news. Oh, let me show you why our elections are messed up. I haven't seen this yet. This is 4 minutes of testimony where the editor-in-chief for the Federalist says what's wrong with our elections. Let me show you that.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to testify today. The American system of self-governance is under attack. Instead of an election day where everyone votes at the same time and with the same full set of information, votes are counted quickly and everyone promptly knows and trusts the outcome, we now have lengthy election seasons that can last months prior to and even after Election Day. The situation is so absurd that we have presidential and gubernatorial debates weeks after some people have already voted. Instead of having total security and a verifiable chain of custody for ballots being issued, cast, and counted, we flood addresses across the country with tens of millions of unsupervised mail-in ballots months ahead of elections, frequently to locations from which voters, if they're even alive, have long since moved. Instead of having election administration that is rigorously nonpartisan and impartial under the law, we have allowed the private takeover of government election offices by partisan oligarchs and their armies of activists who use those offices and their authorities to tilt the election toward favored candidates. Instead of voters being able to vote for the candidate of their choice, powerful interests backed by wealthy oligarchs are working to remove the most popular candidate and the ruling party's chief opponent from the ballot in a move reminiscent of Soviet Russia. And if that weren't enough, instead of the top candidates chosen by the people being able to fully engage in a vigorous campaign heading into an election, we have one side actively attempting to throw its opponent in prison and bankrupt his family, again, reminiscent of Soviet Russia. Instead of a system of rule of law that gives Americans the same rights and due process, the Department of Justice and other partisan actors are prosecuting their opposition, whether powerful or lowly, and doing so in places where partisan juries will ensure a quick conviction. Instead of a free and independent press that shares news and information to help inform voters, we have a press that is almost exclusively the arm of one political party and is so corrupt that it is willing to perpetrate hoax after hoax against opposition party members. Instead of a vibrant public square where Americans can debate issues and express their strongly held views, we have an elaborate censorship industrial complex where the government works hand in hand with tech oligarchs to suppress and blacklist debate on all the important issues that contribute to election outcomes. This is something I know firsthand because our government worked with tech companies to censor me for my election reporting. Allowing just one of these attacks to infect our electoral system would be a crisis. Allowing all of them at the same time is an existential threat to our system of self-government. In my best-selling book on how election administration has been co-opted by groups seeking political power, I reported on a new phenomenon in the 2020 election that has already severely eroded trust and needs to be addressed decisively. In the last presidential election, nonprofit groups with very strong ties to the Democrat Party and funded by one of the world's wealthiest and most powerful men, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, took over government election offices, most notably in the Democrat areas of swing states. Since then, the efforts by partisans to further infiltrate government election offices to ensure favorable outcomes have only increased. I look forward to answering questions about how the private oligarch takeover of elections is a threat to our system of self-government.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
So that's an explanation of what's wrong with our government right now, what's wrong with our elections right now, per Molly Hemingway from the Federalist. Okay, let's see. I have video. She talked about how there's censorship. Jim Jordan revealed that books about shots were suppressed by the White House in March of 2021. So Amazon met with the White House and the White House said to ban books that were showing up in search. So why did Amazon agree? Because they were feeling pressure from the White House. They enabled something called do not promote for books that express the view that vaccines were not effective. That's what Amazon did. I'm not saying they aren't. I'm saying that those books, which said that they weren't, were put on a do not promote list by Amazon after pressure from the government. So that was revealed by Jim Jordan recently. All right, I have Elon Musk shared this. Disney hiring inclusion standards, which are mandatory and for all levels, where they say 50% of characters have to come from underrepresented groups, 50% of actors have to come from underrepresented groups. Secondary characters have to be from underrepresented groups. And then that also includes creative leadership below the line. So all over in entertainment, they're saying that people have to be included from underrepresented groups. This is by Disney and also by Amazon Studios. So mandatory. So they're discriminating against white men, basically. And I'm curious how much people do this with hiring standards. I'm not really sure. Check this out. In Australia, they put a man in women's underwear. They put a man in women's underwear, and apparently people are thinking about boycotting the brand. Here's a clip of a student who thinks J.K. Rowling is transphobic and is challenged on it, right? In reality. So, and actually, before I tell you that, Donald Trump says we should forgive Bud Light, that Bud Light is a good company. Donald J. Trump said the Bud Light ad was a mistake of epic proportions, and for that, a very big price was paid. But Anheuser-Busch is not a woke company. But I can give you plenty that are, and building a list and might just release it for the world to see. Why not? The radical left does it viciously to well-run conservative companies and people. Very nasty, but it's the way they play the game. On the other hand, Anheuser-Busch spends $700 million a year with our great farmers, employs 65,000 Americans, of which 1,500 are veterans, and is a founding corporate partner of Folds of Honor, which provides scholarships for families of fallen servicemen and women. They've raised over $30 million and given 44,000 scholarships. Anheuser-Busch is a great American brand that perhaps deserves a second chance. What do you think? Perhaps instead we should be going after those companies that are looking to destroy America. Some people are saying that he's wrong to forgive Bud Light because they never apologized, but he's saying Bud Light's a good company. So is the Dana White from the UFC. So even though they did the ad with Dylan Thomas. All right, here's a clip I want to hear of a student who thinks that J.K. Rowling is transphobic. Let's listen to this.
So these guys want to talk about J.K. Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
She's had a pretty controversial past. I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, do you still like her work despite her bigoted opinions?
So let's get specific, though. Let's define bigoted opinions. What opinions are bigoted? We're going to treat this as a thought experiment. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or what way to think. The whole point is to learn how to think, not what to think.
Yeah.
So when you say bigot, you're starting with the conclusion that given her bigoted opinions.
Yeah.
So first, let's start with, does she have bigoted opinions? So when you say bigoted opinions,
She has had a history of being extremely transphobic, I've heard.
Hey, you've heard. So what? Can you give me an example?
If you look at her Twitter, I think you could see a few things. If you want, I could try and find
see
something.
See if you can find one.
So one of these tweets that she came out with in 2019, she said, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real."
So you find that bigoted? What do you find about
it was? it was deemed transphobic. Like I myself,
Do you find that transphobic yourself?
I don't really have an opinion on it, but I'm just going with what a lot of other people have said.
So let's pause there. Let's not go with what other people are saying. Let's try and learn how to critically think. So let's analyze the tweet ourselves. So that statement, do you see anything problematic? Disregarding other people's opinions.
She did try and pin some things on a specific group of people.
Where does she do that? Can you read that?
But force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So when I hear that, I'm interpreting that as meaning if a woman says that, saying that there's a difference between men and female and then being attacked as transphobic, I think that's what she's saying by attacking someone for stating that sex is real.
That is exactly what she's saying.
Is that transphobic to you?
So, to me, no. Stating that sex is real is not transphobic. It's just a fact of life. It exists.
So is there anything you disagree with in that tweet?
In that tweet, I can't really see anything that I myself disagree with, but I can see why some people would think, oh, this is offensive. We can't have that here or something. Because there's an apology tweet.
Let's read that. What did she say there? I haven't read that.
I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it is hateful to say so.
You see anything problematic there?
She's apologizing, so no, not really. If I could read it again.
It sounds like a very similar statement as what she was just saying. She's basically saying, like, I have nothing, to me, this is what I interpret it as, I have nothing against someone being trans.
Exactly.
It's your life, but you just don't get to impose on you can live how you want, I can live how I want.
Yeah.
And let's all,
Exactly.
So I guess now that we're looking at it like, oh, there's not much difference between me or her, do you think it's fair that that she's being attacked by a large group of people and people are calling her, like you said at the beginning of this conversation, you said, given the fact that J.K. Rowling is transphobic, how do you feel about Harry Potter? Now, retroactively looking at that statement, do you think that was the best way to phrase?
No, I feel like an idiot now.
It's okay though, but this is why we do this, to learn how to think.
There you go. So there you go. That's actual real critical thinking, right? She's never said anything transphobic, but she's called transphobic. There were 5 trans players playing at a women's volleyball game, which Rebel News showed up to. And they dominated the game and played for the entire game without subbing in any of the female players who sat on the bench. So this is going to be I'm surprised it doesn't happen in basketball more, but in sports where height matters, I just don't understand it. Men are taller than women on average. That's the biggest difference. And then they're stronger on average too, but they're taller, and height matters in volleyball. So here's a picture of all the trans players who dominated a volleyball game where the team with the most trans players won. So 5 transgender players reportedly dominated a recent women's college volleyball game in Canada, sparking outrage online, including from tennis great Martina Navratilova. The trans athletes played through the whole game while biological females were left warming the benches, according to Rebel News. And the team with 3 male players won. So that's happening now. I don't know when that's going to end, but that's happening. So that's more trans news. And then here's someone asked if a biological male can give birth. Here, check this out.
And then, one of the other major issues that the legislature has been dealing with is the issue of transgenderism and LGBTQ rights. Would you say that a transgender woman could give birth or get an abortion?
I am not a doctor.
Okay.
And I think that this amendment speaks for itself. It is very clear on the language. Again, it goes back to medical professionals, not politicians, not elected officials, telling people what to do with their bodies and getting it interfering with medical decisions.
Okay, thank you. And
All
then,
right.
one of the other major issues that the legislature has been dealing with is
There you go. So she's not a doctor, so she can't tell you whether men can give birth or not, biological males. So there you go. That's your trans news for the day. The interview should have now been released by Tucker Carlson. It's 3 p.m. Pacific time, tuckercarlson.com. Let's see. He doesn't have it up yet, but it's supposed to be released now. It was supposed to be released at 6 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. Watch now. Let's see. We're here to interview. Let's see. Nope. They have so it's not out yet. It's not out yet, but it's supposed to be released now. Pirate X Pirate says, I don't know what a woman is, and I have no idea if a biological male can give birth. Yeah, who the hell knows? All right, let me give you, there is some financial news. So I'll switch to that now. Financial news is that this bank who took over for another bank that failed is now about to fail itself. New York Community Bank Corp. I'll show you the stock chart for it. It's actually up today, but this bank, that's the chart for it. So it's down like 60 some percent since the beginning of the year, and looks like it's about to go out of business. I believe on 60 Minutes this week, Fed Chair Powell said small banks are going to fail.
What is the likelihood of another real estate-led banking crisis?
I don't think that's likely. We looked at the larger banks' balance sheets, and it appears to be a manageable problem. There's some smaller and regional banks that have concentrated exposures in these areas that are challenged, and we're working with them.
You believe it's a manageable problem?
I think
we're not
appears
going to
to
see
be.
bank failures across the country as we did in 2008.
I don't think there's much risk of a repeat of 2008. Certainly, there will be some banks that have to be closed or merged out of existence because of this. That'll be smaller banks, I suspect, for the most part.
There you
What
go.
is the
So there is one bank that's ready to go down right now. Show you some more financial news. Job postings are down 15% over the past year, plummeting 31% in finance and 44% in software development roles per Indeed hiring, which is where I go to look for a job. We have record debt. Credit card delinquency rates are up more than 50%, went up more than 50% in 2023 to their highest level since 2008. Last quarter alone, total credit card debt jumped $50 billion to a record $1.13 trillion. Auto loan delinquency rates, which are also supposed to be really bad, surged towards 8% for the first time since the Great Recession. All while rates on credit card debt hit a record 25% and new card loan rates hit a record 9%. How long can consumers hold on? So debt is at astronomical levels. I had Tucker talking about RFK. I'll save that for the next show. Thanks everybody for tuning into the show. Thanks for the support. Let me see what else I have for you. I might have a few more things to share. It just depends. Yeah, delinquency rates. Reuters is reporting that, so I have that news. Delinquency rates. I have that. I think I've gone over almost everything. You guys have anything else? John says credit unions are always better than banks. Yeah, usually, but hard to say for sure. I hear the rain outside. Here we go. Here, check out this Boeing airplane with electrical tape all over the wing. And Boeing employees are apparently asking for a 40% raise. All right. I think we'll wrap it up there. I think that's everything I need to share with you guys today. They are saying, though, that we might be near here. JP Morgan says that there are a lot of similarities between the current rally in U.S. stocks and the dot-com bubble. Thanks, Leonidas. You missed Doshi? Yeah, me too. We miss Doshi all the time. You can get free Doshi stuff at our store, though. If you go to truthclothing.io, that's where our t-shirts are. You can get one of our Nassim shirts, which are made in the USA. Lift the Veil Never Normal shirt. Look, that's on sale for $15. I have those right next to me right here. And I'm sending out an order, I think, today. Lift the Veil Never Normal, $15 shirts. Never Normal baseball tee for $18. You can get those. Question Everything comes in a bunch of different styles. Dangerous Freedom. This is a cool shirt. Says, I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. That's to support Slow News Day on Rockfin. All right. So thanks, everybody. I'll check my coffees again. Thanks for the 5. I really appreciate those 5 coffees. And I appreciate the person who became a member today. And I think we're done. We're wrapped up. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Good to see you guys today. Good to see a big show. And we'll see you tomorrow, okay, around the same time. Thanks, Eon. Well, yeah, you want that freedom one? Yeah, get it, Eon. Good to see you, too. All right, guys. So have a good one. We'll see you at the next one, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, here on YouTube and Rockfin and DLive. All right. Ian Will says, do I take calls anymore? I do sometimes. Not every day, though. I don't have enough people tuned in today. Do you want to call in? Ian, if you want to call in, I'll stay tuned. We have over 100 people tuned in. If you want to call in, you can. Do you want to call in and talk about something? I haven't seen you for a while. I said goodbye to everybody already. All right. You don't want to call in? Yeah. Sometimes I take calls if people request it. So, yep. All right, Ian. All right, everybody. See you at the next one. For now, that's what it is.